If you're currently going through your awakening, your spiritual awakening right now, then you probably understand and can relate when I say it can be so isolating and sometimes defeating and lonely. I know that's how I'm feeling right now. I've been on this journey for a few years now, and I'm experiencing a different part of it that's going more deeper into the family part and like the generational flaws part. And it can be very sad. It can be very lonely when you start to feel like you're the only one that understands or can see certain patterns that are unhealthy or toxic or controlling. And then you feel extra alone because most of the people that you would go to might be the source of some of those problems. And so if you're watching this video right now, I assume you are on your own spiritual awakening, or have been, or starting, or in the middle. And my hope is to help bring some connection and help lessen some of the isolated and lonely feelings that we get along this journey. Because it is not easy when you feel like you're an outcast because the ones around you can't see what you see. Well, I want you to know you're not alone. There are other people out there experiencing the same thing all the time. I hope that brings you some comfort, because it brings me a little bit of comfort that even though I don't know everybody in the world, there are still people out there that understand me, even if they don't know me, and that are going, this is all a collective experience on Earth. We are all experiencing the same emotions, the same wants and desires and things, just usually at different times and maybe for different reasons. And maybe you feel isolated and small and stuck on this spiritual awakening journey. And I'm going through the same thing. I'm starting to see and question a lot when it comes to my family and certain ways of how things were done as I was growing up, as I was a child. And it's really, really difficult to start unpacking some of that as an adult and realizing, yes, you can't really go back and change any of it. I can't change any of it, but it wasn't my fault. Just like it's not your fault. A lot of this stuff was put on us and we internalized it. And then we created beliefs about ourselves, about what we could and could not accomplish, about what we were and were not worth. And that is really sad that into adulthood we carry these beliefs that aren't even true, and they affect how we live our life and the outcomes that we get and the behaviors that we do and the thoughts that we have. And I know for me, I'm starting to see that there was some narcissism in my family growing up, some very conditional type of love. There was a lot of judgment and criticism, and most of it, I think, comes from like a control. It's like a control thing. Fear. I'm learning fear of failure and fear of messing up was a huge theme throughout my childhood. And I think that was instilled on me. I wasn't born fearing failure. That was something that was put on me through comments, looks, judgment, criticisms, anything that you can imagine. And I internalized it. And that has created some of my mindsets and beliefs as an adult that now I have to untangle and I have to work through and recreate the new beliefs that I want to have so that I can have the outcomes and create the life that I want. Because we can't do that if we stay stuck in those old limiting beliefs that are holding us back, that aren't even true, that aren't even ours. We didn't even create them. We didn't make those up for ourselves. They were put on us. I'm sure you can relate. I'm sure you have your own family things that you've unpacked or that you're starting to unpack, or maybe after watching this video, maybe you'll think a little bit deeper and start to connect some things from your family or your growing up that could be causing some troubles now. It even sometimes feels like I am quite literally, as I am going through this journey right now and as I am starting to realize some of these flaws, and I feel that I might be the only one in the family that is really aware or willing to maybe call it out for what it is, makes me feel as if I am quite literally fighting for freedom. There's a lot of control. There's even some manipulation involved, and it also feels like quite a bit of weight on my shoulders, feeling as if the others in my family are just unconscious to it, or unwilling to see it, or unwilling to admit it or fix it. And part of me feels like I have this weight that it's my job to almost bring it to the light in hopes that maybe I could mend some relationships or just bring some more happiness or closeness to my family. And although I feel that, there's also the part of me that knows it doesn't have to be my responsibility, at least not solely, it shouldn't be. But it is really hard when you do care about your family and you do want to have a good relationship and connection and understanding. But just knowing that I can't do it all by myself. And even though I do feel like I am alone and isolated in this, I'm not. There are other people that understand what I'm going through, even if I haven't found them yet. And that goes for you too. If you're struggling with the same type of realizations along your journey and your awakening, you're not alone. We're in this. I am certainly learning a lot. The limiting beliefs and the judgments are real, and they really do have an effect. And we are all humans, and we all ultimately, I believe, have the same desires, wants, and needs. And yes, so ultimately we all have the same emotions and feelings and wants as human beings. And we want to be able to create the lives that we want, have the love and connection in our lives that we want. And I believe, and with my experience, things start to get better as you become aware of the beliefs that you've internalized, that you have had passed down to you, that have been holding you back, keeping you small, making you feel like you aren't good enough, or making you feel like you can't accomplish something, or making you define yourself as not a successful person or not a hardworking person, or whatever limiting beliefs have you defining yourself as someone that might not actually be helping you get towards the goals that you want. So first, it's really about becoming aware of these and learning how to change them, practice new ones and understanding that they can be changed, that you don't have to stay stuck in these beliefs that your parents or grandparents or family members or friends or coworkers or anything have put on you. It doesn't make them true. Just because somebody else believes something about you or believes something about themselves and projects it onto you doesn't make it true, and it doesn't mean that you have to believe it also. This is a huge realization that I'm realizing over these last years, and especially these last few months, as I'm realizing a lot in my own family of origins. And I wanted to share this because I think it's so important to understand that we do not have to stay stuck in these beliefs. We can change them. We can change them. It will take time and consistency, but you can take baby steps with understanding that maybe right now you think you are not lovable for whatever reason and terrible things that happened to you growing up or that were said to you, and you feel that you're not worthy of that. That's not true. I'm here to tell you that is not true. But in order to heal from that, that belief has to be mended. So just start opening your mind up and looking for all the ways that you deserve to be loved. And try to switch your mindset from feeding that negative belief that I'm not lovable and start challenging those beliefs and start listing the reasons why you are lovable, why you do deserve it, because we all do. So I hope that this helps. I hope you can relate and start practicing new positive reasons why you deserve the things that you deserve, and see how your life starts changing. I'll talk to you guys later.